Shout out to my sisters who wear the versatile styles, the one who get called fast when the rest of the world refuses to keep up with their pace. Shout out to my brothers who still rock their locks, even when the system tries to use it as a pretense to lock them up. Shout out to my siblings who defy the boundaries of what hair means in a society full of unrealistic gender expectations. Shout out to the creatives who revive historic looks while creating the newest trends. Shout out to the stylists and barbers who radiate community and comfort to the soul at the cost of their shoe soles. We all piece together to make a braid that's tight to the roots of our history and culture, even when a system tries to cut it off. With with unapologetic authenticity, Gemini Williamson. And then a little footnote.
Yes. So you'll notice that with this footnote section, that this research, this love letter writing is supported by scholarship. So Gemini, can you tell us about one of your articles to support what you wrote?
Yes. Okay. So I will focus on because this one I thought was really interesting. Salisbury and Connelly's. This one was focusing on a issue over in Britain where there was a Black student who had dreadlocks and the school wanted him to cut them off. And it started a big conversation because as the community started rallying against it, the school issued a almost a clarification, but in the process, they use a lot of language, such as the school is a very strict and proper environment. Therefore, the dreads were something that was not allowed. So these two authors further dived into that conversation of how language oftentimes is used as a way to police Black hair. This one in particular focused on Black men's hair. So the styles that we often see Black men wear, cornrows, dreadlocks, just any sort of hair that isn't very like shaved to the skull. So I found it very interesting because even though it was a British publication, I found echoes of it in my experience as a Black woman in America. I have a lot of siblings and I have five brothers. And growing up, that was something I heard growing up in a predominantly white school in America. My brothers were often told that their cornrows were an issue or that they weren't proper, or the idea that if my brothers were to get dreadlocks, it would somehow be a mirror of their educational prowess instead of something that is tied to our culture. So I really enjoyed this because it kind of not only just touched on what I was talking about up in here, but also too, it kind of showed that it's a bit of a diasporic feeling sometimes of how like it doesn't matter where we are. Oftentimes Blackness can be seen as inferior or inadequate just off of our hairstyle alone. So I really loved reading it.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. So, as you can see, once again, this is more than just writing a letter of love. This is supporting it with scholarship as a new approach to understanding. So, our next up will be Eryn. Eryn, please introduce yourself and share a love letter. Is Eryn here? Eryn? All right. Well, if Eryn's not here, for the sake of time, we are going to go into the pass the mic section. So Gemini and Eryn are part of cohort number 3. Like I said, we've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years. So now I am going to go off screen, still be here in spirit, and then Gemini and Eryn will be the moderators of this discussion for cohort number 4. So Eryn, oh, wait a second. Eryn's back. Eryn, it's not good reception. So we can circle back around to you at the end. So Gemini, it's all yours.
Alrighty, so like Dr. Omni said, the next cohort is cohort 4. I've had the pleasure to get to know them. This consists of Jennifer, Iyanah, and Dakila. Once again, amazing scholars and amazing girls just all around. And they will get to be presenting 2 of their pieces. I'm very excited to see them. So Jennifer, would you like to go first?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Joseph. I am a junior at Florida State University majoring in psychology with the hopes of becoming a child psychiatrist. So I'm going to present my letters. Let me see if I can share my screen. Are you guys able to see it?
It's still loading in.
Okay.
Alrighty, you're good.
Okay. So this love letter is called Unlearning Silence, and it begins with Dear Beloved SoulFlower. The silence bred creates a lot of stirring emotions, a lot of self loathing. The not talking back, the you must respect us, the gembagay upapale, becoming scripture in the walls. Mental health isn't real. Tifi pa kriye, suck it up, pray it away, hide it well. And in the hiding, a whole generation learns to hold their feelings like laundry no one must see. So it is up to us to unlearn them. And then my sign off is rise higher, fall softer.
I just have to say, I always love just reading your work, Jennifer. You always have this like beautiful way of just balancing vulnerability and expression. It's just like it's so you in a way that I love. But I guess my biggest question, because this is such a deep, 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 deep conversation. I see that you have some Creole in there, am I right?
Yes.
So you already know we're island girls. We have parents that are from the Caribbean. So like I just really felt that like kind of repression of your feelings and like I guess my question is for you. How was it to express that, right? Knowing that there was a potential that you would be sharing this with so many other people when we're constantly taught from a young age to kind of just suppress that.
It was hard at first because I was like,
Mm,
maybe it's too much. But I guess like the whole purpose of me writing this specific love letter was to show that it is okay to be outwardly vulnerable, kind of unlearning what I was taught in the home.
mhm.
So it was nervous at first, but I'm really confident in this letter and I enjoy sharing it with you and this presentation as well. So yeah.
Okay. And kind of just on that same thing, I see that you have the citation for Carson, I believe that is. What was
Yes.
that piece about, that article?
So for Carson, I have notes because I get nervous.
That's a good thing.
So this article basically explored second generation Haitian Americans and their identity. And it really went into cultural, trying to balance family expectations, cultural pride, and just racism in or racial experiences in the US. And I felt that I related to this very much because I wasn't born in Haiti. I was born here, but my
Mm,
parents' upbringing was Haiti, and my older siblings upbringing was Haiti. So we had basically different three generations, and one was born in Haiti, two were born in Haiti, and one wasn't. So for me, I was definitely trying to balance. I was definitely trying to incorporate that into this because I feel like when it explores in the article that they want us to hide it well, how
mhm.
we're taught to suppress our feelings and to mask. And I wanted to
Yeah.
express that in here that it is okay to unmask it and that their culture, although it is mine, I do not have to repeat the same generational curses.
Okay, so I love that last bit, but I don't want to hog up all your time. I want to give Erin some time too. I just love this so, so much.
I can completely reflect the sentiment that Gemini has. I'm also an island girl, so I grew up often getting that pressure to appear perfect, appear structured. I was curious based on that whether you have any other examples of habits that you or your family take on to maintain that image of perfection and something that you do to maintain a sense of control in order to project that idea that you're all together. For us, of course, it's cleaning at home, but I'm not sure if there's something else. And that's also open to the audience if y'all would like to type any childhood memories or habits today that you've kind of taken on as an idea to project the perfect woman or a controlled household or whatever your background is.
Right. So definitely my mom, she really instilled this in me that like when you have people coming over, your house has to look perfect. You cannot have no messy dishes. Your bedroom also has to be perfect, even if they're not coming into your bedroom. Even if they happen to pass by, it has to look absolutely perfect. So just having that exterior, like I have it all together look was very much instilled in me. But like sometimes, I don't have it all together. I mean, most of the time I don't have it all together. So it was very hard for me to unlearn that, and I'm still unlearning it as I'm transitioning to living alone and being an adult in college. So it has definitely been a shift, but that is definitely something that my mom or even my father as well instilled into me or in my siblings in the household in general. So yeah, that's definitely one thing.
Noted. And from your research, I know you were doing extensive work as you worked in these letters. Is there anything that you could pinpoint that might be a reason for why it's so difficult for us to be comfortable with the idea of not being put together or being perceived negatively?
With the Carson one, it talked about the environment of growing up where you have to suppress your emotions. And I feel like it's very hard to, especially now growing up, that you have to learn emotional regulation at this grown age of 20. And I definitely feel like this article resonated with that. We were taught to survive, basically. My parents had to survive and brought us to the US. And I guess that trauma was instilled into us as kids. So I definitely had to break that.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful sentiment. And I definitely get it because I see the trend in our generation where anger management rooms is one of the biggest pastimes now. And so I think, yeah, the criminalization of emotions and all of us trying to just pretend to be perfect is something that's definitely got to shift. But I loved that love letter. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, I do want to pass it on to Jem if we have our next person.
Do you? Well, I think they're gonna read two, unless Jennifer, you only had one.
I have two.
Okay.
Thank you. I have to reshare.
I'll let you know when it shows back up too. Okay. It's visible.
Okay. So this one is called Haiti, Two Worlds at Once. And it begins with Dear Beloved SoulFlower. There were lessons told of my country, Haiti, one of the poorest lands, but the stories never made me. My family crossed so the future can no longer be shaky, not due to poverty, but for safety. In the laku of girlhood, we gather over time, braiding ancestral stories into rhythm and rhyme. The names lost in passage, in salt and sea, we wove them back with care through you and me. We dream of Haiti, yet live in two worlds at once, past, present, and future in a single dance. Mothers see in visions, annoying from above, guiding, warning, whispering their love. Leve piwo tobe pido.
Erin, do you want to go first this time? Because I
Sure,
gotta
I
collect
see
myself.
you
That is
sharing
so
the same.
beautiful.
Yes, this all of your writing is always so heartfelt, Jennifer, and that is absolutely beautiful. For the audience and also my curiosity, what does the end portion in Creole mean?
Oh, okay. So it's my signage rise higher, fall softer, but I put it in Creole just to like really make that impact.
I love that, and it creates just a beautiful contrast. It's a really this past, present, future, and a single dance. What were you into there, and is it connected to the Etienne writing?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're
One of the
good.
lines that really stuck out to me was where you talked about past, present, and future in a single dance. What were you referring to in that line? And was it connected to your research in the Etienne paper?
So past, present, future in a single dance was referring to my mother and my grandma and me. So technically I'm the future, my mom is the present, and my grandmother is the past. And I grew up with my grandmother in the house too. So really we had 4 generations: my grandma, my mom, my older sister, and then me. So it was influenced in my writing, like going through it. I was kind of just thinking about like the different things that my grandmother told me versus my older sister versus my mother, and how that really instilled into me becoming who I am and my future. So yeah.
It's beautiful. And was anyone else in the audience raised with a grandparent in the household, providing extra wisdom? I don't know if we see any reactions coming in, but I think that's definitely something that can be shared. My grandmother wasn't in our household. She was, but we would go every summer and visit her house. It was kind of like the place where all of the grandchildren would get together, and I remember wisdom being poured out. And so I think your letter being dedicated to that sentiment is just absolutely wonderful. But yes, Gemini, I also saw you reacting really powerfully to this.
Oh my God, I really love that part, like having the past, the present, and like that future aspect of it. And I just kind of was relating to how Eryn said, like, while I didn't live with my grandmother, like there was either two places you would find me when I was a little girl, in like my home or like my grandma's house. Like there was no in between. Like at times it was like my grandma's house was like my house. Like everybody knew where to find me. Most of the time I was with my grandma. And like it just brought back like a wave of memories because my grandma passed away when I was in like middle school, but I just I really felt that. But I was really interested in your aspect right here where is the names lost in passage in salt and sea. I just want you to kind of like dive into that a little bit for me, like especially with that citation. What was the, I guess, conversation in your head as you were working on that part of it? Because that's really such a deep piece right there, right? Like
Mhm.
that within itself.
So for why I wrote that specific line was because for this article, it really dove into Caribbean poets using the ocean as a symbol. And it
Mhm.
resonated with me because of my parents immigrating here and the oceans that they had to pass. So the entire poem is basically about, my culture, but also my other culture because I was born here.
Mhm.
So I had to find the balance of that between home and school. At school, I was exposed to one, and then at home was really another. So the names Lost in Patches and Salt and Sea was basically in reference to that, like my parents leaving their home behind, their past behind, kind of like all of our ancestors did when we came from Africa. So
Yeah.
it was hitting that, but it was also hitting personally to me.
Honestly, like I really love that because I have one of my love letters where I kind of focused on like water. Because for me, water is just very symbolic of a lot of things, but I kind of looked at it from that aspect as well. Like once again, growing up, my grandma like always took us to the pier. Like we were always by water. And then when she passed away, right, that became a space for us to honor her. But then too, my mother is African American, but my dad is Bahamian. So it's like they both have ancestors that kind of had to cross water like maybe once, but then on my dad's side, when he immigrated over here, was crossing the waters twice. So I really love that exploration of that because it just resonated so deeply with me. So thank you so much for reading this. It once again, Jennifer, like you are just your work is always so refreshing and vulnerable. I just love it.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and then we can pass it over to Dakila. Dakila, if you also want to introduce yourself, let the audience get to know you a little bit, and then share your two. We're ready whenever you are.
I'm Mischelle Everett. I go to FSU and I'm a sophomore. So, and I'm also in the cohort 4 of Omni. Oh,
Jennifer, you're still sharing.
what? Show my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, y'all. You see my screen?
Not yet. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Okay. So, dear beloved elder, you have a way of making everything around you feel lighter, smarter, and funnier. People might not always say it, but your energy changes the room in the best possible way. Don't stop being witty, sharp, and unafraid to speak your truth. It's a gift, and you already been doing it your whole life.
That, oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm really feeling like so much ancestral, and I know that's our work, but it's just like to really hear the conversations around just ancestral wisdom and how not only is it a passage of knowledge, but a safe space for so much emotion. Like it really just it does something for me. It does something for me. But I would love to know a little bit more about your article, Joy of Living. What was that about, and how did it inspire your love letter?
So the article is really just about Black joy, but for older individuals though. So
Ooh.
like it talks about their past and like what they've gone through and like how like in their later life they're in these programs to like help with the like help with like their health. So like
Mhm.
their mental health. So it's like a yeah.
It's actually pretty cool. And that's kind of taking me back. I mean, I'm thinking about it from our space because, we're younger, we're the younger generation, but you're taking time to read and understand somebody that's, a few generations older than you. And it kind of reminds me of when I believe last year, me and Eryn did our autoethnographical work, and we kind of, our participants were about like, I want to say 20 years older than us or so. So there was a bit of like a lot of elder work, but also just like having that age difference. But I guess my biggest question is, did you see anything reflected from your elders in yourself as you were reading that? Maybe moments of joy that you felt like you've also experienced, or maybe life lessons you feel like you've already learned.
Like from the text or like like my grandma like my like the text or like my experiences like from
Like
the
the text, because
okay okay
if I'm understanding your article correctly,
okay
there
okay
was some information.
so um I guess from the text like there was a part of the text where it was talking about um wow it was talking about I'm sorry it was talking about
Very good. And if you can't think of
yeah I can't
something right now, that's totally fine. But I mean, I guess you did mention your own personal experience. Would you like to maybe dive into that more? Because
yes okay okay that's easier so yeah, like my my grandma, she's very like outgoing and like loud. So like I'm kind of like I'm not like loud, but like I'm like I say what I think, you know? Like so I get it from
yeah,
her. So that's what I yeah.
that's actually, I feel like that's a good way to put it because
Mhm.
you're very like relaxed, but you're not afraid to like say what's on your mind. And I
Yes.
feel like I really get that too, like getting something from your grandparents. Like I didn't get a lot from my grandmother. I will say I'm a bit more ditzy like my grandpa at times. Like I can be a lot more like stumbly and silly, but I think I actually have a lot in more in common with my great grandmother, at least from what my family tells me, because they're like, you're very like, you can be very like sharpened on your feet. I never got to meet her because she passed away like a year before I was born, I believe. But I have her middle name. And so everybody, like, especially on my mom's side, like whenever I come and visit and I go up to Georgia and see them, they're like, yeah, there's a reason why you have her first name as your middle name. So I really kind of felt that like getting things from like the past generation. I think once again, it's just because they were such a integral part of our life, and just once again that ancestral like sharing period of knowledge, energy. So thank you for reading that. Everett, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I do have one comment. I wanted to say that the line on that says people might not always say it, but your energy changes the room in the best possible way. I thought that was extremely powerful because often we take our grandparents for granted and just elders in general for granted. Like our teachers, they show up, and our college professors, now that we're in the stage of our life, like they show up every week and just mentor us and pour all of their knowledge into us. And it's pretty much just sharing what subject was their passion and obsession in life. And yet we go to class sometimes and are tired and don't really want to stay there for the full hour to 2 hours that it is. And sometimes it's moments like this where your love letter reminds me to just sit down and appreciate that someone's sharing their wisdom and their personal life experience with me. So I think it just really makes you stop and appreciate and have gratitude, as Dr. Omni is always encouraging us to embrace. But yes, I don't want to eat into your time too much. So I'll save my extensive commentary for your second love letter. So do you have another one to share with us?
Yes. Okay. So, dear beloved elder, you have rebellious in the way that you live your life. It's quiet or bold that can't be ignored. The way you make choices, stand your ground, and own your joy is inspiring. You have a rhythm all your you have oh, I'm so sorry. Rhythm all your own, and it's beautiful to witness. Keep shining exactly as you are. Keep the world brighter with you in it.
This is also beautiful. I do want to say, I noted that you said you have a rhythm all on your own. And us, as the Omni cohort, we know your side hobby. Do you want to mention what rhythm means to you?
But say it again, I'm sorry.
We as the cohort know about your hobby. Regarding rhythm, do you want to explain to everyone here what rhythm means to you and why that's important?
Oh yeah, so I love music. So like I play instruments, I DJ. So I do I play the guitar, I play the drums, so trumpet too. So but yeah, that's what I do. My hobby. You asked what again? I'm sorry. You asked something else. I forgot to.
No, that's perfect. So
Oh,
music is so I love the way you tied in your elders to your music. Is there a reason why you made that relationship? What made you think about music as you were working on this letter?
oh, I just love music. So that's like my passion. That's my biggest passion, to be honest. I just wanted to like make that like just put that into like one of my letters, like just like my love for music. So
Good. And I know, well, at least in my family, there was always music kind of tied in with my elders. And I think that was also kind of made their presence known. Like for us, it was old gospel music playing in the background as we're talking after church or getting ready to go somewhere as a family. And I'm just curious if you have any connections or even Jem or Jennifer to specific songs kind of take you back to those times with your grandmother or grandfather if you had a connection.
the song, it's a song by it's not a gospel song, but it's a song by Barbara Mason, I believe. It's called I don't know what it's called, but like it's like a very like up and like outgoing song. So that's yeah, it reminds me of my grandma. So
I think mine would be my grandma. Well, just period. If it was anything Luther Vandross, that was my grandma right there. She loved her some Luther. Like that was her like everything. But I think maybe never too much. Like specifically, like whenever that song played, like either one or two things. Either we were at a cookout or I needed to get up because it was time to clean that that room, the kitchen, everything. It was time to clean on Sunday, get to work. So that was definitely my song, I would say. Jennifer, did you have one?
I do. Okay, so my music in general was compa or just Haitian music because that's what my parents like. That was their groove. So I grew up listening to those songs because of them. So the specific song, I know you guys don't know it, but it's called "What About Tomorrow" by New Look. And my dad used to be blasting it in his car, like taking me to school and everything. So I really loved that song and I resonated with the lyrics because it was basically just talking about like we never know what life is expecting for us. So, just take it day by day, live for today. So I loved it, but yeah, that was my jam.
Eryn, did you want to add anything else? I just wanted to say something real quick about your piece to Kyla. But I just want to double check, Eryn, you good? You're muted. Oh, okay, I saw the thumbs up. I just wanted to say it was kind of like what Eryn kind of called back to the mention of rhythm, because I also have a bit of like mentions of music in mind. Because once again, like Eryn once again brought up the conversation of how like music can kind of like bring back memories. But I have to give you the article because I think you would really like it. It was a young Black neuroscience student. She was talking about how her grandmother had developed Alzheimer's disease, but and I thought this was really cool. She would sing certain songs that they sung a lot together, and her grandmother would be able to remember them. So, like, if it was oh, that's okay, Kyla. But yeah, so if it was like, let's say, and I thought this was really cute. There was one lullaby that like her and her grandmother always used to sing, and she would kind of like start to hum the tune, and like the grandmother would just pick it up. So I think there's something beautiful about how music kind of can transcend just being sound. It's a way of telling a story or conveying a lot of motion. And I kind of talked about that in another piece that I was looking at where it was the women of Chokwe. They're in Golian tribe, and in the past there was documented songs that they had that kind of reflected on resistance and everything like that during the colonial period. So I just thought it was beautiful how that one little word of rhythm can kind of just speak to so much. But thank you to Kyla for sharing your two, and thank you, Jennifer. Once again, I always love seeing you guys' work. I just these y'all, these are two of the most like bright minds that I know. They always put their 10 into everything, and I'm just so thankful to have them in the cohort.
Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Wow. So before I say what I want to say, Eryn, I'm circling back to you. Hopefully we can get you to tell a little bit about yourself and share one of your love letters before I wrap it up. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's poor reception. So we want to hear your story. Maybe if you go to a different location. But as I get ready to wrap up, and whenever Eryn, just interrupt me whenever you can come through. As I'm talking, Jennifer, please have your poster ready to share. But to the audience, thank you, community. Thank you for bearing witness to the voice and agency of Black women. Thank you for understanding the power of love letter writing as a autoethnographic exploration, as an arts-based research method. And if this is something that resonated with you, we encourage you, we invite you to follow us on Instagram, because there are 5 members of the cohort. Every last one of them wrote 14 love letters, all supported by scholarship. And that means over the next 70 weeks, you're going to get to see all of their love letters. Today, you only got a teaser of 2, but you'll be able to follow us on Instagram, which is Omni Institute of Wellbeing. If Jim, if you could put that in the chat, that would be lovely. Thank you. And Jennifer, I don't know if your QR code leads them to, does it? Okay. So either way, you'll get it from the chat, or you'll also get it from the QR code. But I want you to understand the importance of this work. Like you see on my shirt, it says, Dear Black women, but this is because it started out as a billboard campaign in the capital of Kansas. of writing letters to Black women to situate it within a context where we can counter the deficit narrative that's generally applied to research involving Black bodies. And we are now doing this with the next generation. And every single love letter is listed out as Dear Beloved SoulFlower. So you don't have to be Black to understand the value and receive the love that's behind these letters. But the undertone of what we do and the overtone of what I research is Black women's health. So once again, thank you so very much for bearing witness to that. All right, Eryn, because we have 9 minutes and we got to get through you and back to Jennifer and then to the audience. Let's go, Eryn. Wasn't she moving you? All right. Eryn, still no luck. All right, Jennifer. So everybody on this call right now, this is research. Understand, autoethnographic research. There's a poster that supports this research, and Jennifer is the designer of the poster. Please share, Jennifer. Turn it to you.
Get off me. Okay. So, as you guys know, I go to Florida State University and I am part of UROP, which is the undergraduate research program. And this cohort is part of my research that I decided to choose. So, this is my poster, Dear Beloved SoulFlower, Letters of Black Joy. And I provided some, I provided some background information about this project and basically what it meant to me and the findings of it. Here I put Mrs. Dr. Christal Mischelle Omni because I felt like a lot of this background information does come from her and from work that she's also been a part of and been witness to. So I wanted to include her in this as well. I included 2 of my love letters that I will be essentially talking about in the symposium. I instead of using the word result, I decided to use the word implications because I felt like it was more true to this research than results. I feel like being a part of Europe, it was definitely harder for me because my research, although it's still research, it does not follow the technical STEM research that is presented. So I decided to change the wording in order to fit the story of what I'm trying to portray. Here we have the methodology and the reflection. I know the sizing is a little different. It's because it's supposed to be bigger, but it's fine.
And then can you show the QR code so somebody, if you want to take a screenshot, you can see more, learn more about the poster, learn more about each one of the research mentees through cohort 1 through 4, and also learn if you want to get involved. So there's screenshot opportunity. If you can enlarge that, Jennifer, that would be lovely.
This links to my references.
To your
for the
references?
articles, yes.
Okay, even better. So it helps to support the scholarship of it. So wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, so if you could stop sharing your screen, we have 5 minutes. And Eryn. Thank you very much. All right, Eryn, are you available now? All right. Well, if Eryn's not available, then that means we have 5 minutes for audience engagement. Do you have any questions for cohort 3 or cohort 4? So right now we have Gemini and Jennifer on the line. Any questions? Oh, and Dakaila's back. Okay, any questions? And Eryn's here. Any questions? Yes, Sandra.
Hi everyone. I loved your love letters. I love the spirit of it. I love the like looking back to kind of move forward. I guess my question could be answered by anyone, but I do a lot of the same work and I'm trying to understand what is the shared process of valuing something that is perhaps in our modern world layered onto us to overlook. So I want to hear a little bit how you theorize that practice through your writing.
Do you mind repeating your question?
Yeah, it's kind of like a conversational question, right? Basically, all your writings or all the letters are um, t turning focus on things that we tend to not be asked to turn focus to. So in turning the focus, my question is, how are you theorizing that process? Does that make sense?
Yes, I am formulating my answer because we have a few theories. I mean,
Jen,
we have
Jennifer,
Dr. Mhm.
Jim, sorry to interrupt. Jennifer was ready to go. She's
Oh, I'm
Jennifer.
so sorry, Jennifer. I did not see your hand. You can go ahead.
No,
My
you're
bad.
good. You're good. So, for at least for me, I feel like it went into a lot of self-reflection. So, I did had to do a lot of looking inward, and I also journal. So, a lot of my poems also came from my past journal entries. So, I utilize a lot of those along with the scholarly work and self-reflection in order to kind of portray my thoughts and emotions. So, yeah, I feel like definitely self-reflection is the way to theorize that. Yeah, that was just my answer.
Jim, did you want to add on to that or move on to next question?
That was beautiful because I feel like that kind of tackled a lot of what I was thinking, but in a more suffice and concise way of saying it. So we can move on to the next question. Thank you, Sandra, for your question.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Sandra. Anybody else? We still have 3 minutes. Please ask them a question. Put them on the spot.
I see Vanessa has her hand raised.
Thank you. Honestly, this is just so moving. It's wonderful. I was wondering, how has this affected you? Has this changed you in any way? Have other people noticed things that since you've been doing this work that is coming to light now for you?
I love that question so, so much because it's like if I could write it in the sky, like in bold, yes, like this. Because and it's very funny because me, Eryn, and Jennifer, we have very like strong like science and I believe international affairs is Erin's background. So when we were doing this work, we were kind of coming from a place where our research and our fields was very like number based and it didn't leave a lot of room for the person outside of like objective. So to have a space where you can almost kind of like affirm your identity and not only that really resonate with your community and once again it kind of echo chambers back into yourself. It's really just been so rewarding and I feel like it's allowed me to also grow in my scientific research as well, like really to be able to kind of just dig deeper and ask more questions. But I also feel like I've become more comfortable being expressive with certain things, maybe figuring out how I want to articulate something. One of the biggest things Dr. Omni has really just allowed me to really feel comfortable with is just taking my time and not constantly feeling like I have to rush to have the perfect answer, kind of just being able to be like, can we come back to that? Or just, I'm not sure yet, or just even sitting in that silence and allowing yourself to think. So I really, it honestly, for a shorter answer, it allowed me, I think, to just become more authentic with myself and a lot more patient with myself and the world.
It shows you're a researcher and you love
Thank
it and
you.
it spreads. So keep doing what you're doing because it's amazing. It's
Thank you,
wonderful.
Vanessa.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. And thank you for being the first heart emoji to fly all the way up the screen. Love it. All right, so it is 1:50 and we definitely want to honor the time because wait. I saw your hand up. Somebody had their hand up and I was going to come right back to you. So whenever this, yes, Catherine, keep your hand up. So whenever it comes to being right on time, I need to ask permission. May we have permission to go over 5 minutes to honor your time and the next group that's coming in?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, Catherine, as you're preparing to, thank you, Sandra. Catherine, as you're preparing to answer or ask your question, everybody please put in the chat where you're from. We just want to know how this becomes an international conversation. Please do that for us for our record keeping. Thank you. Catherine, yes, love.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, love.
I have the flu, so this is a big question, and even if you know the answer tonight, well, it's nighttime here in Ireland, even if you know the answer today, it could change next month, but I'm just curious, so far from what you've encountered, marrying the creativity and the new self-expression, for some of you, it's quite new, the new sense of freedom and like, ooh, it's actually safe and it's crucial and it's brilliant and it's important. Do you still feel that your future is in academia, or are there other possibilities opening up, or is it just too much to know right now? Also, even if you do have a fresh dream, you don't have to share it, obviously. I'm just curious.
Eryn, are you able to answer that question? Yes, I see your hand. Eryn.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. For internet sake, I'm gonna keep my video off just so it doesn't go off again.
Okay.
I came into this project wanting to be an attorney, and I thought law was the only thing that mattered. We needed to be strict to numbers, strict to the people, understand systems and rule of procedure. I came into this and Dr. Omni told me to slow down, to breathe, to ask more questions, to get to the root of the why of what we do. And now mental health has become so integrated into my life. I will say I struggle with being a speedster and planning 10 steps ahead, but I've learned to delve more into gratitude and presence. And now I find myself drifting into academia, and I'm working on a research project this summer, which will not just focuses on mental health and pre-professional development resources for people in.
The answer cut off.
Yeah, I think we lost Everett. I think we lost her.
Okay, well, the answer was yes. That was a lovely answer. So it is now 1:53 and we don't have time for any more questions. I did see that somebody is in Chicago. That's where I live right now. So that Chicago person, please reach out. Let's connect. Let's have a coffee or a tea and let's dream together. All right. So everybody, thank you once again. The way we end all of our meetings and all of our sessions are with three things. So I need y'all to get involved with these three things. So if you can, put your cameras on, because we got to be able to see the three things. And I got you for 2 minutes. All right. I'm scrolling up. I need to see cameras. I need to see people. All right. I see a few people. All right. The first thing that we always do is give a high five. So bring a high five in. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. All right. The second thing we do is give a hug. So hug your body. Hug your body. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, Ella, I like your hug and your squeeze, mamas. Yes, yes. And the third thing that we do is we put one finger up in the air for hope, especially in this climate that we're in right now. So the things that we do are high fives, hugs, and hope. Thank you so very much. Much love to y'all. We appreciate you. All right, and I'm gonna put my information in the chat in case y'all want to connect that way.
Thank you all so much. I loved all you guys' questions and responses. Thank you, thank you, thank you.